What's up, guys? It's your boy Wild Gamer coming at y'all with a video. Today we're gonna be going over the Frost Mage first, then the Fire Mage, then we're gonna compare the two together. Okay, so this I'm gonna show you two runs that I did. This was a run I did a little while ago as a Frost, and this was a run I did last night before I went to bed as a Fire Mage. So if you look at the DPS, the damage per second is still 2.5 and it's 2.5. So the difference between these two runs was this was a 10, this was a 9, and this was a 11. But uh, the difference between these two was when I was with this Frost spec, the Demon Hunter tank that we had, he was mobbing them up, pulling big mobs. So it was easier just to Frost AoE, just AoE them down. With this Fire, it was kind of different because we had a decent group that was everybody was just killing shit pretty quick, which this guy right here was just raping shit. He was super geared, but that tank wasn't mobbing them up too heavy, which he was a warrior, and he wasn't really like mobbing up to pulling too big of mobs compared to this Demon Hunter tank. So that's the differential between these two, which I think believe this damage would have been higher. The difference between the two specs, like which one is better than the other, if anybody wants to know, they're both better than one another in one thing. So Frost, to me, is better in AoE because it's an easier rotation and it's easier to maintain. Fire, on the other hand, is a higher burst single target. It has a good AoE also, but it does way better in AoE. I mean, single target. So with this legendary here, glacier fragments. It's pretty easy with Frost. All you do is draw a blizzard, you pop an orb, and you just spam ice lance. And right before your orb your blizzard fall, throw another blizzard and just keep shooting ice lances, and it actually reduces the cooldown of your orb, your frozen orb. But with Fire, it's kind of different because with Fire you have to precast a flame strike. Then while you casting that, you need to cast 2 fire blasts, then pop combustion, and then once that flame strike hits, you want to use your free one. Then you want to take and use a phoenix flame, fire blast, throw out another one. Then of course you need to use your shifting power in the middle. Once you use your shifting power, your fire blast, drop your free flame strike, and then shoot out a phoenix flame, which gonna spread your ignite. So it's pretty decent AoE damage also, but Frost is just easier because all you have to do is press 2 buttons. Pretty much you pressing 3 buttons. You're throwing out a blizzard, you cast an orb, and you just spam ice lance, and that's all your damage, pretty much. But in single target, I'll show you some of the boss fights. Alright, this was one boss fight. Well, this is the last boss fight. This one don't really matter because our healer wasn't too good, so he let us die a lot. But if you look here, excuse me. If you look here, this was a single target fight. So I did 373k on that fight. This was another boss fight. This was another boss fight. But if you look at the trash, it's a difference. See the trash, 800k on that trash, 940 on that trash, 2.32 million on this trash, because he was chain pulling on this trash. So that was the reason why we was able to get those high, like 2.3 million on trash. This was a small mob that we killed at the end. But now if we go to the Fire build over here and you look at trash, 234, and as you see, flame strike is your primary damage dealer, and you can see ignite should be on here too. Well, I didn't think I caught combustion on that one, but if you go here and look at this one, 531 on that trash, 1.5 million on that trash, 654. But if you get the drift where I'm headed with this, they're both good specs. You just have to play which one is easier for you. So for me, what I would reference is that if you new to a mage, play Frost. If you more advanced, play Fire. But I would suggest like leveling as Fire. That way when you get to max level, you'll know all the ins and outs of the Fire Mage. So with my Frost, this is my stats for my Frost build. which I'm running haste and crit primary, mastery whenever I get it. But your primary two stats you want to stack is haste and crit, and then everything else comes after. As far as fire goes, the legendary that I use for fire is right here. Disciplinary command. So I know I could have put it on a ring, but the lowest piece at the time that I had was the wrist, so I had to put it on a wrist because I had rings already. It was like 216 and stuff, so I didn't have no. My wrist was like 197, which I think is these right here was 197. So you know it is what it is. But as far as the frost build goes, this the build that I run. You could use bone chilling, which is good for AOE also. So and it's stack. It got a stack and buff. So you looking at 5%. Once it stack all the way up, so you're getting 5% extra damage versus 25% damage all the time when you don't have a water element. So to me, Lonely Winter is a much better talent, being you always have 25% extra damage added on to your Ice Lance and your Frostbolts for single target. Shimmer is basically a go-to no-brainer. If you have another mage in a group, you can use Focus Magic, but a lot of sites and things suggest that you use Enchanter's Flow with the Frost Mages because you move a lot. But I use Ruin of Power because I use it at certain specific points. So like we pull big mobs, I pop it, and when you do pop your Icy Veins, it drops it automatically. So if you pull a big stupid mob and you about to blow them up, you can just hit your Icy Veins and it's going to automatically drop your Ruin of Power on you, which this is a consistent buff. But like I said, if you have another mage, just throw this Focus Magic and y'all swap them out, and it's going to increase y'all damage because y'all can share with one another. Chain Reaction is pretty much 3%, damage to frozen targets with Ice Lance, which means when your Ice Lance procs and it glows, it's considered frozen. So say for example, if you frostbolt and you get a proc on your flurry, you shoot your flurry, the next 2 Ice Lances is automatically gonna hit like they're on a frozen target. So you always want to, whenever you cast in a frostbolt, you shoot, once this flurry proc, you always shoot this Ice Lance, shoot 2 Ice Lances right after. Don't matter if you get another proc of Fury or what, just always shoot these, dump these, cast a frostbolt, shoot the flurry, and cast 2 of these again. That's how you basically, excuse me, that's how you want to use your procs. I'll show you a rotation in a minute. Back to the build. This is just a basic generic build, but what I would do this week, since this week we have Raging. So what I would do, if you don't have a Druid and you run a Frost Mage, you can go with Frozen Winds, which, excuse me, which slows the target 10% additional to already what you slowing them already at 50%. So it helps your tank kite pretty much is what you're shooting for. You could go with Frozen Rain. What this does is when you prop your Frozen Orb, it gives you a free Blizzard. So you can, but you lose damage because you think about it, splitting ice actually, when you crit, it shoots the 2 critting bolts and it hits an additional target for 65% of the damage. So this talent right here is strictly non-changeable. You could change it if you want to go like super AoE where you just spamming Frozen Rain, but if you do that, then you're gonna have to go into your conduits and change up some things. But Thermal Void is a no-brainer. You shoot your Ice Lances. Your Ice Lances gives you an additional second on your Icy Veins, so which is a no-brainer also. As far as my conduits go, let me get them pulled up. Okay, so I run a Anaya because I use Kyoran for my fire spec, but this is my frost build, so you always want to have this. Your Icy Veins, when it's activated, increases your critical strike hit, reduces it by 1.5 seconds. So if you think about it, you're reducing it by 1.5 seconds every time you crit, but you also is increasing your Icy Veins by using your Ice Lances, which is with this talent. Well, not that talent. With this talent, Thermal Void. So it tells you right here, your Ice Lances against frozen targets increases. And remember, your crits is always frozen, considered frozen. So you're extending it by 1 second, and when you crit here, you're reducing it by 1 second. So you basically, these two right here works hand in hand with one another because they one reducing it and one increasing it. So those, you always want to have this. You always want to have Ice Lance because Ice Lance is your go-to talent, go-to conduit for your potency, and it's strictly because of this talent and this talent and this talent. So this talent, these three straight down the middle, goes hand in hand with Ice Bite. I use my Ice Block conduit just because it heals you for 72%. So if your healer slacking behind and you about to die and you have time, you want to go ahead on and pop this, and then just sit back and let yourself heal up. You lose a little bit of DPS, but at the end of the day, it's not a killer. And the reason why I know this is not the best tree. So for Covet, for the Frost Mage, which I know I'm Night Fade because I play fire. So, but I use them both. So, you can do a lot more damage with the other tree for Frost Mages, but I roll with this because I feel I can alternate between the two. You can alternate between the two. Okay. As far as fire goes, give me 1 second. Okay. As far as fire goes, fire has a basic specialization pretty much. It's real basic. So these talents you just always want to have right here. Pretty much. Single target, you go with conflagration, which leaves a dot on them. But as far as DPS goes and regular normal AOE, this what you want. The reason why I took Ring of Frost over the speed boost is because you can drop this on the ground, which helps you tank kite when those mobs enrage. You can just drop that and it freezes them, and you can just go ahead on and keep blowing them up. All right. For my fire tree, you always want to have Infernal Cascade, pretty much, and you want to try to keep this up as much as possible. I should always have my Ice Block where it's gonna heal me, and I use Master of the Flame potency, so I can actually leave behind a Flame Strike that's gonna deal damage over time as they stand in it. That's if your tank know how to keep the mobs in it. Otherwise, if you think your tank's not gonna put them in there, then just use this one here. Use this conduit right here, the Discipline of the Grove. If you use this one here, what it does is it gives you an extra 5.6 seconds over 3.2 seconds to reduce your cooldowns on your abilities when you use your shifting power. So it's a pretty good talent to have also. I mean, pretty good conduit to have because it actually helps you out a lot. And okay, my fire, this is my fire build. My stats on my fire is 26% haste, 33.71 crit, because you get 30% base crit. So you already have a base crit amount regardless of your other crit. So once you hit like 33-35%, then you can just start stacking haste. But you can sim yourself, and if you sim yourself, it'll tell you what's the best stats for you. And when I sim myself, all my stats was pretty much at this point, all of them was pretty much right behind one another. So it was up to me what I wanted to do as far as the talents go. I mean the stats, because the stats are pretty close once you start gearing up and getting a little decent gear. And my class is only 209 item level, this build right here, as my fire mage. So, but like I said, fire is, conclusion. Fire is a real good. It's fun. It's fun if you like to play, run around and shoot things, blow stuff up, and stand there at the same time. Then fire is where it's at. You play fire, you're gonna have fun. You play frost, you're gonna have fun. But fire is more funner because you can actually do things and run away, and you can blow stuff up. You can kill things in a matter of time. So if you need something that you need burst down, fire is where to go. Frost, if you need a burst down AoE mob, then Frost is the way to go. Fire is good also, don't get me wrong. Fire is good, but Frost is easier. All you do is draw a Blizzard, spam or throw your orb out and then just spam Ice Lance. And right before your Blizzard stop, cast another one and just shoot Ice Lances. That's about it. As Fire, it's the rotation for Fire is a lot more complicated than it is with Frost. So in conclusion, you can play whatever spec you want out of these two. I wouldn't play Arcane at the moment because Arcane pretty much is non-existent in PvE. So my suggestion would be Frost AoE, single target, Fire. If you want to do good damage in both, either one will work. So if y'all have any questions, comments, anything y'all would like me to cover, go over, rotation or whatnot, just leave it in the comments below and I'll make a rotation video to show you guys how you basically want an AoE with Fire and AoE with Frost, single target with Fire and single target with Frost. So if you would like to see those videos, go ahead, leave me a comment, support the channel, because I do try to work hard to get y'all as many videos as I can out, but give me some likes, some subscribers, so that way I can at least know, the content that I am trying to help the community with is appreciated. It's nothing but just a click of a button, So, this your boy Wild Gamer. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe and God bless you.